in this time, there are many people talking about how you can create whatever you want, but it's from the mind only. What can you say about this, creating from the mind only?
Well, there is that movie, that DVD out called The Secret, and what they're talking about in there in The Secret is that you attract to you what you are thinking and feeling, and that under certain conditions, consciousness conditions, you're able to actually manifest whatever it is that you feel you need or want in your life. And I agree with them. It's absolutely true. It will work, and if you do it properly, it'll work every single time. It's not just an airy-fairy thing. It is a science. But there's a problem, and the people who created that film didn't understand. But I think that they will, and I've actually talked to some of them, and I think they're beginning to realize they've made a tiny mistake. The way it works is the brain is a polarized instrument. Half of it is male and half of it is female, and it's polarized further, and there's a front lobe and a back lobe, and it keeps going. And because it's polarized, because it is really what creates good and evil consciousness or polarity consciousness, anything that you create through the brain is going to be polarized. And so if you have the intention of creating something, you're also going to get the exact equal and opposite thing that you don't want. And it's going to come at you from behind, and you're not going to see it coming. So you're going to see what you got, and you go, I got what I want. But then coming from behind you will be exactly what you don't want. And it'll be of the same value, the same power as the other one. In physics, it's if you push on this wall like that, the wall actually pushes back with an equal and opposite force. It's the same way like with a rocket ship. The rocket ship shoots the force down, and the rocket ship goes up with a precisely mathematically equal amount of force. And creation from the mind is no different. And so once that's really, really understood, it becomes clear that creating from the mind's not a good idea. It just, creating is a good thing, but in that way, it's not a good idea. However, creating from the heart is different, because the heart is not polarized, and it doesn't have any of that polarization. It is where true love resides, or unconditional love that has no opposite polarity. And so if you can create, and it's a slightly different way to create through the heart than it is through the mind. But if you create through the heart, you will get the pure intention, and the heart would never and does not ever create anything that does harm to anything, anywhere. And so you can have everything you need and want. It's really okay, and on all universal levels, to have everything you need and to have abundance. But humanity really needs to understand how to create properly, and then there won't be this problem. Right now, you have most of the world out there praying, and it's a form of creating, for peace. And they want it. Everybody wants peace. You got a few people that don't, but most people want the peace. But they're never, ever going to get it using that system. Because what's going to happen, and you're going to look all around you and see it, you're going to have part of the world in peace and part of the world in war. And it's going to continue that way as long as the world keeps praying for peace. Sounds silly. It sounds like, what? But it is a science. It's not, and if that's the way you create, that's what you're going to get.
So these big groups meditating together in special dates, they say, let's do in this full moon and in this day a huge group meditation for the peace in the planet. So they are creating the opposite at the same time?
If they're doing it through their yes, it actually creates war. If they do it through their heart, no. It could change the world.
Okay, so this is a very important part that we must understand.
It's really important.